Yes, sir. Cinco Squad is back with another episode. It is myself, Jonathan Sawyer. With me is Mike DeSanto. Grandpa Jay is on his way, but in trade day, still in Cancun. Mike on his way to make the Lakers next year. So we'll see trade day here next year. He's trying to make a playoff push, trying to be the underrated SGA,
Of
trying
course.
to be the underrated Jalen Brunson, underrated Tyrese Halliburton. It is
Underrated.
a well, they're all underrated apparently because they're all second best on any of the teams that they were on. So let's see how it goes. Mike, NHL playoffs kicked off last night. You made a bold statement on Twitter saying that the Panthers, if they continue to outplay Carolina like this, they are going to sweep them. Do you still think that's true after that 5-2 win?
Honestly, yeah, if this is the effort that Carolina's going to put forward, I think Florida can sweep them because, yes, and people called me out on the clip I posted just before the game about how the Carolina reminded me of the Panthers of last year, where they were successful in the regular season, but not as successful as some other teams in their conference, but were built to win the playoffs. Then Carolina proved me completely wrong, at least in game one, and Florida is still built to win in the playoffs. So I did not like the effort I saw from Carolina. And like I said, if this continues, Florida is capable of sweeping, especially with Bobrovsky in net.
Bobrovsky! He's the stellar Bobrovsky!
You're off the case, Bobrovsky.
All right, let's bring in Grandpa Jay because I know he's our hockey connoisseur. There he
Oh, yeah, of
is.
course. He knows
Coming
more about
in.
hockey than anybody.
Coming in. See, like he even wearing a nothing easy shirt and everything. He's saying hockey the easiest sport to ever play. Grandpa Jay, what do you think about them Panthers rolling the Hurricanes last night?
I feel like the Kings are just flat. The Panthers obviously have more experience at this level in the past 3 years, just like the Stars. I think it's their third conference finals in a row. You
Mm-hmm.
have a very, very experienced team who knows how to play a higher level of hockey when required. So I feel like the Kings could not match their energy from start to finish.
Yeah.
We might see the same thing in Dallas, tonight. So that's left to be seen. But I feel like both of these teams are probably in a position where we may see a Stars Florida finals. But hey, Edmonton was in this position last year, right? It's a rematch in the West, so we'll see what happens out there. But I feel like Florida pretty much sent a strong statement to everybody left in the Stanley Cup playoffs, and that's the Stanley Cup's still going to have to go through us.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the entirety of the NHL, I mean, Florida is the most cohesive team right now. They are playing at a very high level, and I love what their coach says in an interview the other day I watched on Instagram, and it basically said that this group is built different, and the way they are is that he had a phone call, and when he first got hired there, with Carter Verhaeghe, and Verhaeghe was going off about all the teammates. The teammate, he's this, he's great, he's this type of player, he's this one's got a great shot. It just shows the camaraderie with the team. And I'll say it till I'm blue in the face. Chemistry beats talent. I don't care who you have on the other side. So, but we do have some sad news in the football world. Colts owner Jim Irsay passed away this evening. Unfortunately, it's a sad day. Sad to hear that he passed away. But that's rest in peace and thoughts and condolences are with him and his family. Um, let's take it on to the hardwood. Got the Knicks and Pacers playing tonight. Grandpa Jay, our basketball connoisseur. What did you think of OKC in Minnesota last night? That looked like a dogfight up until like the last maybe 15, 20 minutes of the game.
I, well, what ended up happening was OKC almost baited them into thinking that this is our style of play for the whole game. And then they completely shut off any opportunity for Randall or Ant-Man to go downhill on them in the second half. And it proved to be the catalyst to their success because they force other guys to just make plays and they don't have a lot of playmakers outside of those guys really in terms of when they have their ball in their hand. McDaniels isn't really there yet. And OKC is the best defensive team in the NBA right now, and they proved it last night. They outscored them by 30 in the second half. We've seen this at this level in the NBA, though. That's what's really strange, right? When Golden State was dominant and the Cavs too, they're blowing each other out in the finals. It's almost like at this level, if one team just gets a slight upper hand on you, they'll just run with it. And OKC did that in the second half. But tonight, it's old school basketball, baby. Let's bring back that Eastern Conference fire rivalry we loved in the 90s. And give me some more of this Pacers-Knicks. I love it. I can't wait to see what this series unfolds to become. I think it's going to be a barn burner of a series. It might end up going 7 in New York. And unfortunately, I think it goes the Pacers' way. So sorry, New York fans. I just think the Pacers are a better team this year. But I'm excited for it. I think it's going to be a gritty, low-scoring series. I think New York's going to try and slow the pace down. They have to. The only way the Knicks can beat the Pacers is to slow this down to a 90s basketball pace.
They're going to have to. I mean, looking at that series, it's going to be a dogfight. Both teams are similar in comp, like when you look at their player composition. I think the X factor in that game, in that series, is going to be Cat. Will Cat perform to the level that he's expected to be at, right? So I would love to see him go out and average maybe 25 and 15, do what he's normally done in Minnesota, what he's capable of. But I think he's going to be the X factor in that entire series. Mikey, you're a New York bred guy,
Of course.
but your favorite basketball team is the Indiana Pacers.
Not entirely true. I just like Tyrese Halliburton, and you all put that on me as so I guess that means you put that on me. No, I guess that means I win this series either way because either the New York team wins or Tyrese Halliburton wins. So
so you're the dude that plays for the Stars and the Hurricanes. Gotcha.
Yes, Mikko Rantanen. Just get a ring no matter what. Yeah, this is going to be an interesting series. I think it is going to get back to 90s basketball, and that's going to be really fun. I think it's going to get chippy. Because it's just, even if the players don't have that in themselves with each other, there's something, especially the fact that the series is starting at Madison Square Garden. There's just something in the atmosphere. There's something in the air that's just going to kind of, I think, get into both teams. And everybody knows the history. I mean, a lot of these guys, they're basketball historians. They know the history of these two franchises specifically against each other. So, and if they didn't know, they should know by now because the media keeps telling them.
As Biggie once said, if you don't know, now you know.
Dude.
Guy. But, and I love, by the way, that Reggie Miller's in attendance. I want to say the Knicks are going to win because I think on paper the Knicks have more talent on their roster.
You can't win off talent and talent alone.
Correct, Herb Brooks, you cannot. And that's why I think the most overrated player may continue to have enough of a chip on his shoulder to get through the Knicks. The Knicks.
Yeah, I see the Knicks. I think the Knicks are going to get through this series pretty solidly. I think it's going to be a great matchup when you look at Knicks Thunder. I think that's going to be solid. SGA versus Jalen Brunson. I just like that matchup. I think that's going to be a really solid. What do you think, Jamie? I think that's a pretty solid matchup when you think about it.
Yeah, well, the NBA wants Ant-Man in the finals, and they definitely want New York in the finals because it's the Mecca. I feel you're right. The better point guard matchup would be SGA on Brunson. Defensively, SGA has the upper hand. Offensively, I think Brunson finds his shot just as easy as SGA can, and his step back three is a lot more deadly. So I think it would be a hell of a matchup to see. We haven't really seen much of a point guard matchup in the NBA Finals in a very long time, where the point guards on both sides of the ball are the one that are really driving the team to success. It's been a very long time since we've seen that. So it'd be nice. It'd be a good, fresh breath of air to have an NBA Finals with that as the key matchup.
Yeah, I see that being it. But moving on to the ice, the Toronto Maple Leafs. The Toronto Maple Leafs. Boy. What is the comparison you put the other day, Jamie?
With the Maple Leafs?
Yeah, you put a comparison that I thought was absolutely perfect. I forget what you said.
Like teams that always shit the bed, or did I just do like an analogy?
It's something that was identical of a team. Oh, no, I heard it from actually Stephen A. Smith. The Toronto Maple Leafs are the Dallas Cowboys of the NHL. True or false?
Yep. Like 30 years now, they're waiting to get back to Stanley Cup almost or more.
More.
Yeah,
They haven't won. They haven't won since '67.
but they were in the Stanley Cup in what, the early 90s?
No,
Or was that Montreal? That was
No,
Montreal.
that was Montreal.
Okay,
I don't think they've been in the cup since like the '70s.
that's insane.
Yeah, but they're always supposed to win. I see where it's coming from. I will actually, unfortunately, have to give the Cowboys at least a little bit of a nod in the sense that they were in our lifetime in the Super Bowl, as opposed to the Maple Leafs who just haven't been. So
Come on, 4 babies are being baptized in the cup, and Toronto still can't get back to that damn Stanley Cup. Come on, Toronto, get your shit together.
There's one super fan that hates the Toronto.
Oh yeah, I heard about this guy.
This gentleman right here, he
That's
goes
so
to
awesome.
every game and roots against the Maple Leafs. It's
He
his
goes
goal.
to every home game. He does this.
No, he goes any game though. Any game. It doesn't matter. He travels away. He travels.
Yeah, any
home,
game he can get to.
goes to. So this guy right here gets the fan of the year award. I mean, he's just
Who is that? He has to be a trust fund baby, or he won the lottery. How do you
he has
live
to
that
be,
life?
and he has the authentic jerseys. Like he's
Yeah.
going to every game, sitting.
You know what? I guarantee that guy bought 100 Bitcoin in 2012, and now he's like a multi-billionaire because of it.
We all should have done. It's like when you go look back at houses in 2008. It's like, sorry, mom, I was in 3rd grade.
Yeah.
Why don't you have a house? Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, I was playing at
Gave
recess.
my house off a lifeguard and salary over the
401k.
summer.
Exactly.
All right, like let's take it over to the women's side of the game. Caitlin Clark has been taking the game by storm, but it seems like there's a lot of controversy here in the beginning of the year. We've already heard RJ3 and Ryan Clark go at it. I'm not going to get into that, but is Caitlin Clark one of the most impactful or dominant players? Like in
Period
sports?
in the WNBA or just period?
Period. Just in general,
Period.
like sports. Like, do you think
Period.
do you think she is the
Must
most?
watch TV.
Yeah. Do you think
Must
she's the most impactful? Like more than like Patrick Mahomes, more than Aaron Judge, more than any of those people? Do you think she brings a lot more impact than you've ever seen in a sport?
Yes, for one reason, like they can stand above any other reason is I don't know any other team where a rookie came in the WNBA and all of a sudden the ticket prices doubled and people were still on a wait list. So I feel like she has transformed the interest of the common fan to become much more of a, Caitlin fanatic, where we want to see what Caitlin's doing, not the Indiana Fever, but we want to see that's how you know you're impactful. People are very much enamored by Patrick, Michael Jeffrey, Jordan Mahomes and what he's done in his career, but there's still that we want to see if the Chiefs can do it again, right? Like we talk about Patrick and his team, but still we want to see if this team can do it. Caitlin stands out on her own, head and shoulders above her team, as much watched TV. And it doesn't matter. She's playing for the worst franchise in WA, and people still want to tune in and watch. If they get blown out by 25, they still want to see it. I mean, last night, 25, 11, 7, 1 point loss because her teammate doesn't know how to throw an inbounds pass in. So, and they're down by 15 in the 4th, and furious comeback led by her. She's must-watch TV, and there's hardly anybody that's must-watch TV other than Judge. I think Judge is must-watch TV at certain times in the year. So there's not that many athletes you could say that about. At least I can't say that about that many athletes.
I'm going to disagree with you. There is one person and one person only that is the most impactful person in all of sports, and that is Tiger Woods. He had changed the entirety of golf, and even to this day, if he puts his name in the hat at a tournament, he is selling out that tournament in 5 seconds. That is impact. For people to go out and just spend money on his clothing line 20 years later, I don't think people realize if you didn't pay attention to golf in the early 2000s, late 90s, this dude was winning at a very high rate. Everyone talks about Scotty Scheffler. Well, Tiger was winning every other tournament and doing it at a very dominant rate. So it's funny when they say to Scotty, do you think you'll hold the world number ranking? Do you think you'll outlast Tiger? And he goes, well, I have 10 years to do it. That's how long the guy was at world number 1, almost 10 years. So to dominate a sport at that much and be that young and to do it at a very short time span, because you got to think 97 to probably 2009 is when everything kind of started falling apart. So what's that? 12 years? 12-year span, pretty solid.
Yep.
Like I don't know. I just feel this that he is the most dominant player, and I think Caitlin Clark is second. To your 100% points, Jamie, that they are for her to take a sport that was not viewed very highly, right? We
Yep.
watched because Mike and I watched WNBA and college women's basketball because we covered it and really
Yep.
got interested that way by actually reporting on it. She took it and said, "Okay, I'm going to take it and it's going to go through the roof." For people to go to away stadiums just to see her, away like the visiting team fans were just there to see her. That is saying something about what you're doing to the sport. Do I think Angel and like the whole controversy has been Angel Reese doesn't do anything for the sport? Not true at all. I think her playing the villain in this sense is awesome, and I think for her and Caitlin Clark to buy into the villain and the hero is great, and they need to keep buying into it. Enough of this bullshit where it's all about everything else but basketball. I hate that. Stop with all that crap because it's not. It's sports. We don't do that on the men's side. We're sure as hell not going to do that on the women's side. So stop doing that to the women's sports who are working their ass off.
You know what they taught me when I was playing high school basketball? Don't give up an open layup. It's about the number one rule. If you're down low on the block and somebody turns and of course, don't go for their head.
We're fine after
but hit their arms hard enough where they're not even going to get the ball up, so it's not an and one opportunity. Yeah. Let them earn the 2 points. You are coached into that style of play. That's not Caitlin being a dirty player and just doing something off the wall. But it's what the media is good at, and they played into what you just said. Let's create the villain and the hero. Perfect opportunity for it. We know they hate each other. Let's blow this up and make it the biggest story of the weekend when it was a normal foul any coach would tell any kid 10 years up and older to do.
And what's funny is that that everyone's like, oh, Angel's saying, to Caitlin, what the F is wrong with you?
Yeah.
I've played sports with my best friend. And
yeah,
I've actually, remember in hockey, I fought one of my friends in hockey. And then we were out having a beer afterwards, shooting the shit like nothing happened. That's what you do. Like, we leave it on the court. You leave it on the ice. You leave it on where that's at. You don't escalate it, right? You don't cross that line. Obviously, all three of us have all, made fun of each other, joked with each other. So why are we criticizing the women in this sense for having that type of camaraderie? I'm sure they probably text every once in a while and talk to each other, but yeah, I agree with you. Let that villain and let it be. Like, let it happen. That's how you build a rivalry, and that's how you build the sport up. Look at the Yankees, Red Sox. Look at in basketball. I can't even think. Larry Bird and Magic. Look at those two rivals. Like, you just build it over time, and then it builds the sport up. Mike, sorry, I've been rambling on. What is your thoughts on Caitlin Clark being the most impactful person in sports?
Yeah, so I completely hear, especially historically, what you're saying about Tiger, because there's nobody that can match that level of impact for that long as Tiger did. So taking Tiger out of the equation because he does not consistently play now. If you're talking about impacts of people that consistently play in their leagues, it is Caitlin, because in any other sport, in any other league, you really can look at it and go, yes, there's one or two names that are above everybody, but the casual fan has heard about more people and there's more teams and players that they might tune in to see play. Judge, Ohtani, people are hearing about Fernando Tatis and Bobby Witt, Paul Skeens and all that for just as baseball as an example. When it comes to the WNBA, I can bet that the casual fan is tuning in to watch Caitlin Clark, because they know Caitlin Clark. They know that's what they hear about. They hear about how good her game is. They see her on red carpets. They see her on all these advertisements. The WNBA has done what we said they needed to do, which was lean into the star power of Caitlin Clark coming out of Iowa. So as far as all that goes, yes, she's by far the most impactful athlete on the planet today.
Well, Tiger's not playing right now, but he played for almost 24 years.
No, I'm just saying it like if you
we're talking about ever. We're talking about ever. Like, who's the most impactful player?
Oh no, I was just talking about today. Ever it's Tiger, but today it's Caitlin.
Yeah, that's the only reason why Tiger can't even. can't even walk right now. The guy tears his ACL. So let's jump into the comments. We got a lot of people in there. Urban Raj, running with Wrestling Pod. Is that Mike?
Yep, that's Big Mike.
Big Mike, what's up? How you doing, guys?
Yes,
Herbert. I did get told I was getting a freaking boot from the Anthony Davis room. Go freaking Birds! Go Birds! Tush push is Go Birds! Let's go! Tush push, baby, tush.
The Urban Raj agreed. They said the CC Angel Reese foul was very overblown. Of course, we just agree with that. And what we have her, and we say Running Wrestling Plus. I think she is the most impactful for her sport because of the amount of eyes she brings to the league. Absolutely, we agree with that too.
100%.
She played at a different stadium when she comes to town. Yeah, who can do that for the game? And they agreed with you, Mike. I don't know why you're agreeing with Mike, guys, but I guess one person does. And Running Wrestling Pod, Big Mike says, for impact in the history of sports, I would agree. It's Tiger, maybe Jordan, but today it's Caitlin.
Yeah. So looks like we have a pretty even score across the board. But Grandpa Jay, you have a game that you want to play today.
Yes, for my baseball aficionados here.
Charge.
All right, so we are going to play a little Can You Ka-ching?
A little late.
With your baseball knowledge, can you guys get to 2,000 home runs? You have 4 players in the history of the game.
4?
You have to get to 2,000 total home runs. But you cannot use Bonds, Aaron, Ruth, or Pujols.
That's not fair.
You guys cannot obviously use the same players. So once one person says a player, they're off the board.
Okay.
Ooh.
Ooh.
All right. So, John, I will let you go first because Mikey probably has all 25 players in his head that have over 500 home runs in their career already.
Not fair.
So you go ahead and go first.
Shit. Let's go Reggie Jackson.
Reggie Jackson, you have 563 to start your round. Round 1, 563. Mikey.
Alex Rodriguez, I think it's 696.
Alex Rodriguez with 696.
I thought you said no A-Rod.
No, I said no Pujols.
Oh, my.
I pretty said no to the guys that had 700 in their career. All right, so Mikey had 696. It's going to be too easy for Mikey. All right, John, go ahead.
Oh, God. Willie Mays?
Willie Mays coming in with 660. So add 660 to your 563. You're at 1223. Mikey, go ahead.
Ken Griffey Jr.
Ken Griffey Jr. Huge name. Add another 630 to your total. You're at 1,326. John?
Mickey Mantle.
Mickey Mantle. Mickey coming in at 536. So, John, that puts you well above 1,700. Mikey, go ahead.
Jim Thome.
Jim Thome. You go ahead and add 612 to your total. You're almost at 2,000. You're right around 1,900 and a halfway change. So seems like you guys are going to do this easily here. John, don't balk on it. All right. You got one more opportunity here. Give me the name that's going to get you over 2,000.
What am I at, though? Like, total-wise?
You're well at about 1,100. So you got any guy that has over 500, you name it, you get to 2,000.
Shit, I was going to name someone else, but I can't right now just because I wanted to. Oh, shit. Oh, man.
Looking for any guy.
Mike knows it so easily. That's not even like fair. Like
I mean, come on, bro. There's guys who don't want to mention.
Let's do how many yards Bryson DeChambeau's hit.
No, but this is easy for you. They just have players on the.
No. Frank Thomas.
Frank Thomas.
For me.
521, and John successfully gets to over 2,000. Mike, you literally need to name a guy that has 100 home runs in his career. But go ahead. Take us home, Mikey.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, Aaron Judge.
That's what I was going to say.
Aaron Judge. Yeah, whatever. Go ahead. You know you
Aaron
want.
Judge, Giancarlo Stanton, Derek Jeter, Ichiro.
Yeah, look, you're fine. You only needed like less than 100, so yes, Just got to 100 in less than 2 seasons. Congratulations, gentlemen. Too easy for you. Next time I'll make the total higher and challenge you more. But
That's
well
our game time with Grandpa Jay. We're gonna try to do more of those going into everything.
Herb goes, James
Wow.
said, I just came up with the game. I don't want to do math also. I can do arithmetic. They just have to give me, I just have to give them that ballpark.
Look
But
at stop using big
total-wise,
language.
Mikey blows it away.
John's not a big language type of guy. What's arithmetic?
Yes, doing math.
Okay.
Yes, Big Mike. Sammy Sosa, just to tell you his career home run, 609. So that would have been a good one for this game for sure. Mark McGuire as well. He's naming all the big hitters. McGuire right under Sosa at 583. Actually, Frank Robinson in the middle of them at 596. So.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, as Mike always has something on his mind, we have to throw it over to him. So we're gonna give him the screen and be back on in just a minute. Mike, what is on your mind?
Yeah, so we talked about the Toronto Maple Leafs and their utter mediocrity when it comes to winning the Stanley Cup. So the last time more than one Canadian team actually made the conference finals in the NHL was 1994, which coincidentally was the year that the New York Rangers last won the Stanley Cup. That year, it was Vancouver and Toronto in the Western Conference Final because, yes, it was so far enough back in the number of teams in the NHL that the Toronto Maple Leafs in Ontario, on the east side of Canada, were in the Western Conference. Wow. To remind people, I've mentioned this before, the last Canadian team to win the Cup was Montreal in 1993. So Toronto also made the conference final that year. To put that in a bit of personal perspective, that means that I was not alive for either of the last two times that multiple Canadian teams made the conference finals.
All right, everyone's off the screen.
I was. Grandpa saw it all, folks. Tell you how the game is.
What was Toronto like in 1967? Were they good or
fairly slow team?
Fairly slow team. Turk Broda.
Speaking about a team that probably needs to start cheating, and we just talked about it, is the Toronto Maple Leafs. They need to do something. PEDs, SEDs, whatever it might be.
Whatever you got to do.
Whatever you got to do. What is it? HGH. Do whatever you got to do, because at this point, because what Mike told me is that if they're suspended for the regular season, they can still play the playoffs. So just take the steroids, win yourself games, get suspended for the last 15 games, and go into the playoffs. So it brings up our topic of, is there a place for cheating in any sport? I'm just going to say the steroid era was the best era in baseball. So bring back the juicing. Have it lined up like the gumballs in the dugout. Like, just let it roll. Like, who cares? It was fun watching those guys just absolutely murder baseballs every single night. So, I don't know. I don't really care about the whole steroids. The sticky stuff, like for pitchers, I can get away with. But, no, I think you let the steroids roll. Let them go. Let the good times roll.
But to me, it's like, where do you draw the line when you say cheating, right? So, for instance, in the sport of swimming almost, 15, 16 years ago, they got way ahead with the technology, and they came out with these suits that were like these neoprene wetsuits that in one swim meet, you had 95% of every world record get obliterated multiple times throughout the swim meet. So then you say, okay, well, did anybody really cheat, or did the sport not do their homework well enough to realize this might have happened by just allowing everybody to just have this free fall melee, give away every suit, let every swimmer go their best times ever, and they'll never swim those times again sort of mentality. And, you have to be careful as a governing body of a sport, what you allow, because something like that could have ruined the sport for a very long time. But I like your analogy with baseball. Right now, we know they have the enhanced games that are going to be in Vegas in 2026. The idea of that sport is, let's see how far human beings can push themselves of those games. So allow the PEDs, and let's see what we can get. Allow certain things you ban at the Olympics and other big meets, and let's see what a human is truly capable of doing. The sticky side to that, and one of my really good friends who coaches Bulls swimming, Coach Jake, came on Instagram and said it's disgusting, because I have my 16-year-olds asking me right now, Coach, is this the right thing to do? Like, should we be pushing ourselves to the limit to see if we could be the ones to take the sport to the next level? And that's what you have to be careful of, right? You have teenagers questioning whether they are too late to the game already. And should we be thinking this way? And you might ruin sports by allowing more and more athletes to get away with it at the pro level. So it's a sticky topic, man. Mikey, what do you think?
Yeah, so it really comes down to what's your definition of cheating. So with the steroid thing, I'm okay with steroids for healing purposes.
Mm,
That's what Andy Pettitte got dinged for. He used HGH to
get
boost
back.
the healing time in his knee back in the mid 2000s, and that's what he got in trouble for. That's why he tested positive.
That's not true. He did it to beat Rowan Gardner from Rookie of the Year. Rosenbacher.
He put it in his knee though.
Yeah, you know, the power step.
Yeah. Oh God. It's like a freaking donkey kick. Just wah!
Mike was all serious and it made it funny.
No, it's Rowan
Rosenbacher.
Gardenhoser. So like in sports I'm okay with using like corticosteroids and even stronger steroids for health reasons, because we talked before about how all these superstars are getting hurt. So if we have an opportunity to do something that medical science has created and allows you to get better faster, how does that not benefit the league? Now, I understand if you don't want. The thing is like this with the steroid era in baseball.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people like get on the hitters for it, right? I think a lot of people forget that the pitchers were on it too. So you still have to hit the ball, and if you're a juiced batter facing a juiced pitcher, I don't know if you can. I don't know if you can say that it's an uneven playing field. Everybody's just on. It's a higher level, but everybody's on the higher level. So in that case, you know, are they really cheating? Because they're not cheating each other. So I mean, I think there's a place for it necessarily in what we currently constitute as cheating, but you can't let it get excessive.
I just think with cheating, I mean, like it's all about what you're thinking about in sports. I mean, yes, there's certain things that we call cheaters, right? Like I think Grandpa Jay came up with the question, and is cheating a sport, or was that Mike? I think Mike came up, or you, but why? What was the precedent behind this?
The whole idea behind this, I think it was more along the lines of where seeing a lot of guys who've recently been suspended in baseball, and if it's a second time offense, it's most of the season. I think there's some questions coming out recently from, I can't remember the trainer right now. I can't remember his name. Famous horse trainer, Bob. What's his last name? He got banned from the sport for 3 years, and
Baffert. It's Bob Baffert.
Thank you, Bob Baffert. He got reinstated this year, right? So he's back in the game. So it's kind of been at the forefront of a lot of the big, in sports almost every week now, about somebody who pushed the envelope and, now they're back in the sport or whatever it is. So it's kind of, and then, the enhanced games of being promoting themselves big time now, because a swimmer just beat the world record in jammers that Caleb Dressel had. And then he beat the actual world record in one of those illegal suits, like I just said. So now he's proclaimed as the fastest man ever, but under the enhanced games rules, but it's not going to be recognized as the actual world record, because they're already starting this idea of, well, we're just going to push the limits. And whether or not it's through using things that you banned in your sporting arena, it's not banned in our sporting arena. So that becomes the argument, is, are we restricting humans, and, are we maybe cheating fans of what's actually possible in sports if we don't let grown men, not young men and young women, but grown men and women, make these choices for themselves, knowing the risk of doing it?
Yeah, I think it just depends on like what it is, right? Like obviously, enhancing yourself in any way is definitely, we're all kidding. It's definitely not good to do that. But there are some things where you're called like a cheater. You're like, like the Connor Stalions thing, like being able to go and watch a game was how you did that. Plus, you got tape every day from the coaches, of visiting team. I don't understand the whole. I didn't understand the whole thing because other teams were doing it and they had a guy to go there and record and everything. But like the whole recording thing never really made any sense because you got the film tape,
You have film
right?
anyway. Yeah.
You have film
No,
anyway.
what you're recording
Watching the
is
sign.
you're recording what the coaches
But
are
you can
doing,
see
so
that
you
on
can
the
read the tape.
sidelines. Like, what's the
Not
difference
all
of
the
him?
time.
But what's the
They're
difference
not.
of him like going and sitting in the stands and then just writing them down? Like, why is that a bad thing in my opinion?
Because that's
Because
much harder to memorize it that way. It's much
for
easier to have
someone
visual cues.
to detect what that play is with all those guys being out there, that's pretty impressive. And for you to be that dedicated, that's very difficult because there's 6 guys doing, and there's only one real play call.
Exactly.
So that's really hard to detect. Number one. Number two, the NCAA should have got it right a long time ago in making had what the NFL did, have the play in the headset. Like, where were we on technology? We were so
Right.
far ahead. So I just didn't think, and I know I'm a Michigan fan, everyone sees it in behind me, but I just didn't see a big deal because I thought sign stealing was just a part of football. Like, you did that. We used to do it when I used to play football all the time. I used to be able to look over at the sideline, read the coaches, and be like, "Hey, they're running a counter. Hey, they're throwing the ball. Hey, going to the tight end." Like, I could read the sign. So, am I sign stealing? Should I be under investigation? No, I'm sitting on the line. You can tell when something's happening on the field. So, I don't know. I think that was a little bit of like, that wasn't cheating. That was just, that's what you do. You watch film and you get
The real problem is he got caught. We all know that everybody does it.
Doing what? He was watching film.
Doing the thing they don't want to admit everybody does.
I mean, he even said like 20 or 30 schools have like this underground thing.
Right, except for he's the one.
But you guys hate the Astros, don't you?
They're cheaters.
Yeah.
Wasn't it the same thing?
Well, they had a camera. Well, they had a camera on them.
Exactly, but it's the same. Yeah, they were filming it. Isn't it the same thing?
Yeah, I guess so. I guess because you have a camera. Well, he has They had a camera on the pitcher to look in the glove,
right,
from center field.
Yeah, they were using outside, like, base runners steal signs. I mean, everybody knows in baseball, base runners steal signs. It's the fact that they used technology. It's like it's like one of those unwritten rule type things. Like, we know you all steal signs and all that, and everybody's. I mean, I was in high school dugouts.
The trash can was too much.
That's too obvious when you listen to
my living room. Yeah. I remember watching that series. I was like, "What the hell is that banging sound?" It's like it literally sounds like someone banging a trash can. I'm like, "What the fuck was that?" And it's like bang, bang, and you hear it in a World Series game. It's like,
yeah.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I was like the official scorekeeper for a high school team one season. So when I was in their dugout, they literally had players and pitchers that weren't playing that day with a notebook writing down pitch sequences that they noticed from the opposing pitcher to try to figure out what his strategy was. Yeah.
And then Mike was smacking a trash can, letting him know what's going on.
Exactly. I was Carlos Beltran. And
well, let's move around. Two teams right now that aren't cheaters are the Knicks and the Oilers. Talking about what's more electrifying? A Game 7 in MSG of the NBA Finals for the first time since 1970, or Game 7 in Edmonton for the first time in almost 40 years in the Stanley Cup Final.
I mean, not because I'm basketball biased, but Madison Greg. I mean, that's the mecca of basketball right there.
Mecca of all.
Yeah, and everybody. I mean, every athlete of almost any sport wants to say I was at MSG and I got to perform there and I got to put on a show. I mean, even Jordan himself said, like, there's nowhere better for me to put on a show. Kobe as well. Every player wants to make their moment there, and for your moment to happen in a Game 7 there to win a championship, oh my goodness. I mean, talk about being in your driveway, counting down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 for the win, and you're probably imagining it's happening at MSG, right? Whether or not you want to play for the Knicks or not. So I gotta go with,
even if you're not a basketball player. Yeah, I mean, looking at that scenario, I mean, I never really thought about Edmonton in that sense. I mean, they're a great team. They had a great one on there for a long time and botched that up. It's got to be MSG. I mean, they already put up a street sign for Jalen Brunson, and he hasn't even done anything. Can you imagine if they win the NBA title?
Key to the city.
There will not be a Statue of Liberty. It'll be a statue of Jalen Brunson.
With all the other Villanova players coming off his shoulders like little
just
heads.
coming off his shoulders, and then you got like Dante DiVincenzo down the stream and like Milwaukee with like a
No, he'd be looking up the dress like, I'm still here, guys.
Especially if they beat Minnesota.
He'd be like, oh my.
By the way, you know if they play Minnesota in the finals and they win, you know that's going to be like a famous photo, right? It's going to be all the confetti in the background, the confetti, and all the Knicks are celebrating, and it's just Dante standing by himself.
Yep.
That's going
to happen.
Yep.
It's definitely got to be MSG. I mean, you're right. It's the mecca of all arenas. I mean, it was the mecca before I started watching NBA. I mean, we knew it as the king of Big East basketball. Like that's where you go and watch a big game. Big East tournament was something I look forward to every year, and it's just the Knicks. The Knicks have struggled, and you see the life in New York right now. Mm-hmm. Game 7 in New York, that place will have probably 80,000 inside and 100,000
outside. Yep.
waiting. And if they win, oh my God.
Urban Roger Gray, he says, put both games in MSG. Lol, it's the place to be. Heck yeah.
At the same time.
At the same
time. My certificate's blocked by Jalen Brunson. Blocked.
What?
What's going on? Jalen Brunson slips and breaks his head. But yeah, I think that's most electrifying. Let us know in the comments what you think. Urban Raj, thanks for tuning in, as well as Big Mike. Appreciate you guys. We need to get ourselves to 1,000 though. So if y'all can help us get to 1,000, we're like 90 away. So a little help here, a little blessing on just actually Urban Raj and Big Mike, go make 90 accounts. Split it 45, 45, and then just go subscribe
and then just go and then just subscribe to us on all platforms.
And we'll do the same to you. How many just let us know how many subscribers you need. We'll get you there too.
At Single Squad Pod 05.
I want to ask you guys, because we sort of focus a lot on Florida. Do you not think that Dallas and Edmonton pose a huge threat to them having a back-to-back opportunity?
I think Dallas does, but Florida's just too dominant right now. They look like the Lightning in their second year when they played Montreal. Mm-hmm. They just look so dominant. They don't look. There's not a team that I see in its way as Bobrovsky's playing. He's just basically standing on his head every night and doesn't need to. That's the weird part. Like he doesn't need to, but he is. He's making like incredible saves when they're up 6-1, and it's like, okay, you don't really need to, but okay. But it's incredible to watch a team 4 lines deep, just kind of anybody can score at any time, and it's really a cool thing to see. I think Dallas and Edmonton are going to have some tough times. Even though I think Jake Ottinger's number 2 in the playoffs right now.
Yeah, Ottinger is the one in that matchup. Ottinger's the one that can play to Bobrovsky's level if he needs to. Maybe not as consistently as Bobrovsky can, although I have faith that he might be able to. But Edmonton runs into the same issue that they have every year, which is that they just don't have consistent goaltending. And I don't know how many times. I mean, I said this last year to them and Toronto. I don't know how many times I have to say this to you people. Get a starting goalie. Don't get 2 backups and think that you can tandem your way to the Stanley Cup. Go get a starting goalie, because guess what? Everybody you play in the playoffs has a legit starting goalie.
Yep, I agree. Well,
you take this back to, if you have 2 quarterbacks, you have
no quarterback.
Urban Rod says, hey, I love you guys, but I don't have 1,000, but I can get like 3 subscribers for you. We'll take it.
Beggars can't be choosers, so
that's right.
So, well, I mean, Bobrovsky's been the Superman of the NHL the last couple of years. It was Vasilevsky. Who is your Superman of pro sports?
Oof.
I'll take the lead here. I'm going to say a name that, Jamie, I don't know if you know who this is. John, I know you know who this is, and it's a bit surprising. I'm going to say the Superman of pro sports is Brent Burns. Brent Burns, defenseman for the Carolina Hurricanes. Hold on. Follow me here. Come along with me, children.
Let's go. Take us for a ride there, Mike.
First of all.
All right, Valeria.
First off, As far as physicality, everybody who knows Superman knows that Superman is the strongest and most durable of any superhero. Brent Burns is a mammoth of a man. He's like 6'5", 230. He's a physical player. No matter how old he's gotten, he's always stayed a physical player. And he currently holds the longest active games played streak by over 400 games compared to the next active player.
Holy shit.
So, yeah, no, Brent Burns has not missed a game since 2013, I believe it is. So, and he's almost 40 years old at this point, and he's still playing games. He's still contributing at a high level. And every time, and this is me kind of dipping into my nerd comic book Superman knowledge. Superman died at one point, and you thought it was over, and you thought he wasn't coming back. Brent Burns at one point was thought to be over the hill. He wasn't going to be able to contribute to a team anymore. And yet he still finds a way to do good work for whatever the team asks him to do and is on a contending team like the Justice League. So it's Brent Burns.
No. I mean, come on, guys. It's there's no other answer. He's got it tatted on his arm. He is the Big Daddy, Shaq.
He doesn't
Daddy,
play anymore.
Shaquille. We're not saying active players. It's Superman of pro sports. It doesn't have to be a current day. You keep going current day. That's on you. But it's Shaq. There's no other person that I've seen be that dominant and be able to muscle people at different levels of his career. I mean, he just ran through guys when he first came in the league. No one could stop him in the paint. I mean, come on. He didn't have a kryptonite except age. That was his kryptonite, was age. And unfortunately, age caught up with him. Huh?
Food.
No, because, I mean, even when he got bigger, he was still dominant. Like, he was still dominant with the Heat. He was dominant with the Lakers, and he was big. I mean, he wasn't – I mean, he was Diesel. I mean, that's the reason why he's got Superman on his car, Superman on his arm. Shaq was Superman of sports, and everyone knows it, and he still is to this day. I think if you got – I mean, look at him now. He's in great shape right now, and he lost all that weight, got back into shape. I figured, like, oh, he's coming back to play. I thought he was going to come play.
I would like to see him come back to play.
Maybe,
awesome.
But
this is great.
It's definitely
Erwin Rodgers, Mike just made up a player to be a Superman. Brent Burns sounds like he makes documentaries for a living.
He's got a sweet.
Brent Burns could not defeat Doomsday, Mike.
You don't know that. You've never seen Brent Burns fight Doomsday.
I was kind of along the lines there with John, where I just thought across sports for decades and decades. And Jesse Owens came to mind at first, but, you know, to me, Jesse was just way ahead of his time. The correct answer here is the one and only Bo Jackson, who was a Superman in not one, but two sports. He could run up walls. He could run through anything in his way, including a freaking bull. He wouldn't even need the red cape or to dodge the bull. The bull would dodge him. And the man ran out of his own freaking hamstring and quad muscles because he was that powerful. So to me, you have superhuman strength when your body that is very able, ginormous, and looks like it's capable of handling that amount of explosive power could not even handle it. So my Superman is Bo.
Jamie, he was dominant in 3 sports.
Lacrosse as well?
As well.
Yeah. And he probably would have been dominant in track if he decided that you wanted to be a 100-meter sprinter too, right? So.
And if you believe Nike, he would have been dominant in hockey.
Yeah.
Could you imagine that lacrosse?
Oh, no.
Like, guys are shooting now at 85, 98. I can't imagine that shot coming through. I was just like, no, that's a goal.
Oh, no, I'm getting out of the way. 100%.
Hell no.
Urban Rod said Brent Burns does Shaq's taxes.
Look up Brent Burns. Brent Burns doesn't look like he knows how to do
taxes. Go look up Brent Burns. He has the sickest playoff beard and no teeth.
Oh, it's great.
He's got like 4 teeth in his whole head.
So he's just a grizzly bear of a man with that beard, pretty much.
So
this looks like an old classic grizzly bear hockey player.
If you guys are tuning in, make sure you hit
guarantee you can probably find one of his teeth from 2023 in that beard if you really looked, right? So
he shaves it every year. But if everyone's tuning into our socials at Cinco Squad Pod 05. Make sure you guys are tuning into all of our socials: Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it these days, Facebook. We are always there. And if you're wondering why it's just us 3 tonight, Senor Trede is trying out for the Lakers for week. He made it to week 2, guys.
He did?
Made it to week 2. He's going from banana boat to pear boat now, so
Good. All right.
he moved up,
Nice.
and he may
Are
make.
they still in the hidden facility in Cancun, or did they take
Yes,
things to
yes,
Tijuana?
yes, yes.
Okay.
As far as I know, they're still in Cancun.
Yep.
And him and LeBron are now roommates, so that's always cool. He moved
go.
up
Okay.
from
Yeah.
Bronny
Moving
to
on
LeBron.
up. He
So
must have made a
doing well,
great
doing
impression
well.
at the first camp.
Yeah, so we don't know if he makes it past week 2. He'll be if he doesn't, he'll be back next week and he'll talk all about it. But I know one thing that we got to get to here tonight because of course it's time for Stomp the Squad.
Right before we get to Tumble Squad, Irma Raj says, shout out to Tecmo Bowl, one of the greatest games
Yep.
ever invented. Yes, Bo Jackson was so dominant. You hated it when you had to play a game sim. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in tonight. Herb, Raj, Uncle Big Mike, and everybody in between there. Thank you guys for supporting Single Squad as always. Come on, play along with us here tonight, guys. Go ahead and put your answers, which one you think is right, and we'll let you guys know if you got +2 or -2. I think we need to end. Is it John that won last week? You guys slow John down. All right, let's slow you down this week, John. What you got for us?
All right, Ovi has been in the league a very long time, has played in a lot of playoff games. So, how many points has Ovi had over, I guess, scored and assisted on? How many points has he had in his entire career? Is it 140, 147, 150, 162?
Mike, you know he's baiting you with that 147.
No.
152. That was an answer, right?
150, but
150.
162 was an answer.
150.
Jamie always combines 2 answers.
Even 150. Powers combined.
You know what? I that 147 actually did sound right, so I'm gonna go with 147.
Well, today I've successfully stumped Grandpa J. It is 147.
Thought so.
I was a good fish. I took the bait.
Oh, you gotta be quicker than that.
You almost
all right, Mikey, go ahead.
Okay, so we talked about Game 7s in the Garden. Guys, how many Game 7s have been played at Madison Square Garden?
Including hockey?
No, for the Knicks.
Oh,
just the Knicks.
That's a little different now. I was like,
we don't make it to Game 7s at Madison Square Garden, John. We either win before that or lose before that. Just 7, 8, 9, or 10.
9.
8.
9. Well, this week I have successfully stumped John. It is 8.
So -2, Grandpa J with 0, and Mike with 2.
All right.
We all can tie, and then we're gonna leave it up to. If we all tie, Urban Raj, you guys gotta dictate what the tiebreaker will be, so we can see who wins.
Think of a tiebreaker because I think it might happen. All right, Mikey, you and I. By the way, I didn't know this fact before I say it. The Superman of Sports title is also known as the Ubermensch.
Ubermensch.
A double dot on the Ubermensch.
Oh yeah,
Right.
It's Uber.
So, Mike, we were definitely along the same lines. I was kind of thinking Game 7, but mine was on the ice. Can you guys tell me how many Game 7s have been played in Stanley Cup history, and they went to Game 7 formats back in 1939? So we're about 80-something plus years into it right now. Is it 16, 18, 19, or 21?
And this is the finals.
This is Game 7s in the Stanley Cup Finals in the history of the NHL since 1939. 16, 18, 19, or 21?
I was going to say, for the playoffs, that seems very low for 80-something years.
Only the Stanley Cup itself.
Only the finals. Okay. One more time for me.
16, 18, 19, 21.
16. Once again.
18.
And gentlemen, Mikey has pulled out a victory this week. The correct answer is 18 Game 7s, thanks to last year's Edmonton, Florida series that made it 18.
Woo!
Congratulations, Mikey.
Thank you. Yay!
Yep. So, Mike, what's the scores now?
So that brings me to, I believe, 5. Jamie to 3.
How did I go down? I thought I was on 4.
We're at 4. Hold on. Please hold.
Please hold, sir.
He's not ready.
Call me sir.
He's not ready.
Behind the scenes, I pulled up tabs of everything I need.
Rooney.
Well, that's Mike's win tonight this week.
Yeah.
We will update the socials.
Mike trying to just steal a dub.
Trey Day had to take this leave of absence.
Hot for my dubs.
I don't blame him. Because why not? We'll make the Lakers instead of winning Stump the Squad. I mean, the Stump the Squad trophy is way better than the Larry O'Brien one. So,
I mean, I think we can.
Why would you ever want to wear that? So, thank you everyone for tuning in this week. We are looking forward to it. I think we're going to do a live show once a month just to, enjoy comments like with Urban Raj, Big Mike. Appreciate you guys tuning in tonight. And, all the shout outs, check out their shows. Their shows are very entertaining. Mike and Jamie and myself have all been on them. They're fun. They're good dudes. Make sure you guys go subscribe. We'll have them on here shortly. Guys, NFL season's right around the corner. We got mini camps coming in. Got players being signed. Tush pushes being allowed. A lot of tushes being pushed. I love it. Let's get it.
Until then, let's not make a headline story about a rookie not freaking playing practice with his gloves on. I'm more freaking, Travis Hunter practicing without gloves on his hands. Woo, big story. I'm more for the fact that Marvin Harrison ate himself and the squat rack machine.
Dude, he looks
off-season. He is yoked right now, dude.
So we got NFL season coming up. We got the NBA draft show coming up at the end of this month or end of June. Can't believe we're in June already. The Eagles are reigning for another Super Bowl championship. Starts in September. So make sure you guys are tuning into our socials. Fellas, let's go sports. Happy Memorial Day. I hope everyone has one. Oh, and go Orange in the Lacrosse Final Four. Let's go
UT as well. Let's go UT.
All right, guys. We'll see you here next week. Stick with Squad out.